Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome once again to another Behind the Mic here for January 5th, 2022, the first Behind the Mic of the new year. My name is Mike Avery. So this is actually Mike Behind the Mic. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Jerry, good morning on Instagram. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. This is something I do, Yothead. Who is Yothead? I bet I know you, but I don't know your Instagram name. Jeff, good morning. Bruce over on Facebook. Brian on Facebook. John Callison on Facebook. Jeff, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Bernie, good morning, my friend. Logan, good morning. How are you? Logan, I don't recognize your name. Nice to have you along with us. Johnny's name I recognize. Jim. You jumped right into it, Jim. Jim says, John is on Saginaw Bay. Okay. John, I'm assuming you're on the ice. Good morning, Ed, my friend. How are you? Jim, nice to have you along with us. Mike out in Arizona. Good morning. How are things in Arizona? Probably a little warmer than it is here. John, I'm coming down to the show on Friday. Okay. I've had a couple of you ask me, Mike, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Logan, a former Michigan guy living in Texas. Excellent. Dave Freebie, it's hump day. I'm here in the studio, always on hump day. Not always, usually. Okay, we got that out of our system. It is hump day. Indeed, it is. Hey, Dave, nice to have you along with us. Thanks for everything you're doing. See, you answered my question. My week was excellent, Ross. How was yours? Couldn't start out your Wednesday without my rendition. Flory Hamps, how are you over on Instagram? Appreciate you joining us. My name is Mike Avery. I am behind the microphone here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I'm here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, but we've got a few minutes. Doug checking in from sunny Florida. Oh, I'm a little bit jealous because we got a pretty good snowstorm coming into Michigan right now. Ed, I only have subtitles on if you turn them on your end. Live in Atlanta, went to a deer check station here. Wouldn't believe how one of the law enforcement officers treated me and my girlfriend. That's not good. I'm assuming Atlanta, Michigan. Ross is getting ready to head to White River, Ontario for a wolf hunt in 2 weeks. Ross, let's get you on the show to talk about that when you get back. Josh, good morning. Mr. Mapes, Coyote Killer. Josh, did you ever figure out how to post to the Facebook page? Go for the Victor joined. Cat hunting on the lake. Paul is cat hunting on the lake in Lupton. Hope for another one this season. Excellent. That sounds fun. Good luck to you, Paul. Good morning, Scott. Going to be hitting the cuts for perch. Mike. Josh, I'm confused here because I couldn't find your picture, so I posted it. I'll take another look though. Facebook has changed arbitrarily, never for the good, never for the better. Laura says, good, excellent, good things coming in 2022 with Walleye for Warriors. Laura, what's the date? I'm going to put it on my calendar right now. If they ever open it, is the border closed, Ross? Lake Ogama, Kevin checking in. R. Davison over on Instagram. Bunny hunting in the falling snow sounds like fun. Edges fishing the bay. See how many get blown out. All right, Josh, appreciate it. I got to start myself a timer here. Let me do that. Or I will be absolutely hosed when it comes time to do the show. Free fishing. You'll know next week. Is it Father's Day weekend this year, Laura? I kind of hope not. No, Johnny Bowler was talking about when the Wolves Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. D. Broadworth over on Instagram. Good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Ross, are you going to be able to join us in Ohio next year? M Day 68. Good morning. How are you? Arizona has banned trail cameras. There was something in the works there, wasn't there, Mike? I saw that. That would really affect a lot of deer hunters across the country. People have, well, bear hunters and turkey hunters, people have come to rely on their trail cameras. So to ban those, Hubbard Lake froze over the weekend. Probably, Laura says no, not Father's Day week. Ross, no. Turkey season back to 1 week, you're hearing? I haven't heard a thing about that, Bill. Haven't heard a thing about that. I would be very surprised, at least for the 2022 season. I'll check on that. I would be very surprised if they take it back to one season or 1 week. Where'd you go, Bill? 1 week. I'll check, but I'd be surprised. Cell cameras getting a lot of attention. Utah's next. Went through the ice on Houghton Lake already. You know what I say about that? That's Mother Nature weeding people out. Streamside Scotch. I like that. Streamside Scotch. Hump day. Sorry. People, they always ask, Mike, what day is it? New guides are out for turkey hunting. Our season's the same. Yeah. Well, they can't change it this year. That's for sure. It's too late for that. But I suspect Bill's talking about, well, I don't know where that's coming from. I really would be quite surprised. Good morning, Brian. How are you? Yes, Atlanta. He said there was nobody to check the deer. I told him to train our phone call to make an appointment. DNR is a joke. Yada yada yada. Okay, so you don't like the DNR. I get that. A lot of people don't. I cannot agree with the DNR being a joke. I won't go that far. ZZ, that's the season to have in the southern part of the state, isn't it, Bill? ZZ. Good morning, Chad. How are you? Johnny's got to go plow snow. Get ready, Johnny, because I think you're going to get pounded, aren't you? Michigan Gun Rest over on Instagram. Good morning. How are you? Chad, are you at the ATA already or getting ready to head down? Good morning, Corey. Good morning, Brent, my friend. How are you? The ATA. Oh, I changed. Oh, I didn't change brands. You still think it's Wednesday night behind the mic. There we go. There. Where is Tim Binns when I need him? Tim's working on his new house. Yeah, it's not Wednesday Night Live. Jeffrey, good morning. Robert, good morning to you. Yeah, I can change my banners from behind the mic to Wednesday Night Live and anything else I want to do. Good morning, Joe. How are you? ATA was good, better 10 years ago. Getting a little, not bad. Okay. Down west side of the lower is really going to get pounded today. Yeah, he says. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, John. Dave Hendrick over on Instagram. Good morning. How are you? Hoosier Johnny checking in. Johnny, we allow Hoosiers here. We welcome Hoosiers here. We just don't allow people from Georgia here. Right, Pat? Nobody from Georgia is allowed, at least for the next couple of weeks. About 30 minutes away from the Expo Center. We'll start building booths this morning. All right, Chad, have a good show. Appreciate you checking in. June 11th and 12th. Thank you, Laura. June 11th. Count me in, Laura. Count me in. I will be happy to be a boat captain for Walleye for Warriors. Ross, hoping you can join me. Good morning, Mike. Will I be getting on the hard water this season, Mike? No, I will not. I don't have anything against it. I know it can be a lot of fun. I've done it in the past. Hoosier Johnny is born and raised in Michigan. Fair enough. I just don't have any desire to go ice fishing. If I was going to be on the ice, the one thing I would do would go pike spearing. I am fascinated by pike spearing. A wintertime Michigan tradition here. And I think it's really cool. You got that great big hole in the ice. It's like watching a big TV of what's going on under the ice. Walleye fishing with a goat of outdoor media. That's you. It's a bucket list. the GOAT. That's nice of you to say, Bill. Bill, I'd love to have you come up and go fishing with me sometime. I talked to Brad Dupuy of Angler Quest because I said, Brad, I'm donating a lot of charity fishing trips again this year, and I figured I better check and make sure there's an Angler Quest with my name on it before I go making promises I can't keep. And he said, don't worry, Mike, you're covered. Kalamazoo, Joe says Kalamazoo's looking at 4 to 9 inches of snow. Bill, you are no longer invited on my Angler Quest. Bill says I'll bring the crawlers. Joe has fished with me, and Ross has fished with me, and Brent has fished with me, and they all know that crawlers are not allowed on the Angler Quest. Will, how are you? Maybe return to the swamp this season. Shall I tell you who's coming up on the Outdoor Magazine radio show? We're going to kick off the show this week talking about predator hunting. Now that deer season is over, a lot of predator hunters getting back in the woods. Randy Booty of Savage Dog Outdoors will join me. And Joe says no crawlers. Ray, good morning. How are you on Instagram? Then Jason Graham. Jason is a charter captain, but he works out of Linwood Beach Marina. In fact, he's working with Linwood Beach Marina these days. He joins me to talk about the end of the open water trolling season and the fact that the ice fishing season is Bill says, I know, I'm just pulling his leg. See, Joe, see, Bill, you're trying to get back on the Angler Quest. I can see this. Ray Bay, good morning. Ray Bay starting the pike spearing season this week. Good morning, Jason. How are you? How are things in the Sioux, Jason? AKA the Shiawassee Flats with Johnny Panther Quest. Thanks, Will. I was having I knew you're in the back of my mind here. I'm thinking, Will. I knew it was out there, but I couldn't place it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. John says his dad enjoyed the guy with the Ned rig. Good morning, Jason. Ned rig. That was Dave Mull. Jason Graham. Okay. And then in hour number 2 of this week's show, I think this is going to be a very, very interesting segment. A good friend of mine, one of my best friends, Tony Sovie, retired conservation officer who spent his entire life out on Saginaw Bay patrolling and fishing 3 years ago now. And it's taken him a while to get to where he even wants to tell the story. He went through the ice and almost drowned. And his story is riveting about pulling himself through the breaking ice. He can see shore. He thinks he's not going to make it. And the moral to this story is, if it can happen to a guy like Tony, who has gone through extensive ice training, who has spent his career on the ice, who is a hardcore ice fisherman, if it can happen to him, it can happen to anybody. There's ice on Secord now, Carrie says. And I've been trying to get Tony to tell this story for a couple of years, so I'm glad he's coming on. Tony's been on the Angler Quest probably more than anybody other than me on my Angler Quest. He's my good fishing buddy. Then Rachel Leitner of the DNR talking about this is the time to apply for your springtime turkey application. In hour number 3, we're talking ice fishing with Michigan's Mr. Walleye, Mark Martin. By the way, he will be at the Novi Expo Center this weekend. Then he's heading up to Houghton Lake for their fishing vacation school. Ross says, don't let him give you crap about missing that animal. I know of 2 he's missed. I think we got a side conversation going on here. Joe says he enjoyed fishing on the Angler Quest. Of course. Fishing on the Angler Quest is as good as it gets, right? You guys can keep this ice. And then we'll wrap it up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. By the way, Dave will be catering our Trinity Monitor wild game dinner and fundraising auction coming up Saturday, March 5th at Bay Valley Resort. Pat, were you able to get that picture? Bay Valley. Tickets are not on sale for that yet. We're going to give away some nice prizes. I'm going to give away a walleye fishing trip on Saginaw Bay. We'll also give away a Saginaw River cruise with my wife Denise and I. And then we'll have some other great prizes as well. That is Saturday, March 5th at Bay Valley. Tickets are not on sale yet, but I will let you know as we get closer. Good morning from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Almost cold enough to ice fish. Bill wants to donate a few books. We'll take them, Bill. Absolutely. When is the next audio book coming out, Bill? And who's going to voice it? Of all the things I've done in my career, one of the few things I'd like to do and haven't yet is to voice an audio book. I don't know if it'll ever happen, and I don't know how good I would be at it, but I would really like to voice an audio book. Picking up his end of the season dough today from the processor. You are good to voice it. Okay, then you can go fishing on the Angler Quest. That was my whole scam here in the first place, Bill. You let me voice your book, you can go fishing on the Angler Quest. Except you got to take out some of those F-bombs. Good morning, Matt. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Kay Grice over on Instagram. Greg on Instagram. I love it. What else, my friends? Let's see. Have you noticed? Sorry, I didn't mean to touch my Instagram mic. People say, why do you have 3 mics? Social media, which is going to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. This is my broadcast mic, and this is my Instagram mic because I have to use a separate device for Instagram. Yeah, until he shows up with crawlers. Aldo Daniel. Nice to have you with us over on Instagram. Good morning, Larry. How are you on Facebook? Appreciate you being with us. Have you noticed the days are getting longer? They really are. It used to be dark at like 5:15. Now on some days you can see some light in the sky at 5:45. So we got that going for us. Jimmy Diedrich, when he used to work at the old Hoyles Marina, now Linwood Beach. Am I not plugged in? I wonder if I'm not plugged in. No, I'm plugged in. There we go. Okay. Jimmy Diedrich always used to say, on the years that you had squirrely ice or marginal ice conditions or people waiting for ice, he always said, if it doesn't freeze by February, it probably wasn't, because as the days get longer and you get a little bit more heat out of that sun. But I will be interested. Oh, I saw the airborne angler. He was in the air over the bay the other day, and you can see where the ice was forming. Good morning, Jerry. How are things in Algonac? Ross says, I just want to ice fish a couple of times, then 75 degrees can get here. Fair enough. The Ultimate Fishing Show, Detroit, by the way, this weekend, Thursday through Sunday. I'm going to be down there Friday, just wandering around. Oh, here's something I wanted to bring up. Did you see the video that I found in my archives of Mitch Rompola? And I'll be talking about this on the radio show as well. As you can imagine, after many, many years in broadcasting, I have very extensive archives. And I was going through one the other day, just looking to see what video I could pull, because one of the things I want to do is start pulling some of these old videos out of the archives and posting them on YouTube. Just, I don't know, why not? And I found video of Mitch. Good morning, Craig. How are you? Brent says he has no desire to ice fish. It's more fun to be out there in open water with a cigar on the Angler Quest. Oh, you don't smoke cigars, Brent. Well, it's more fun to be out there in the Angler Quest. Mitch, very knowledgeable. And isn't it interesting, Larry, that there's so much controversy around Mitch, and the people who think he's a liar have never met him? It's primarily a fishing show, Ross. This weekend is a fishing show. Now, the Outdoor Rama show will be a hunting show as well. And the big show in Grand Rapids is a hunting show as well. But this one, is my understanding, is pretty much a fishing show. Did you get your application for the Pure Michigan Hunt? All right, Joe, have a good day. And try to stay out of the snow over there, huh? I hope you put in for the Pure Michigan Hunt. I'm going to win. I'm just letting you know there. So they draw 3 winners every year. They should announce them here in the next week or so. Certainly the next 2 weeks for sure. I am one of the winners. I'll just tell you that right off the bat right now. They haven't drawn. Good morning, Patrick. They haven't drawn the winners yet. But I'm telling you, I did win the Pure Michigan Hunt this year. And I'm pretty happy about that. You only bought 6, Ross. Well, That's why you didn't win, and that's why I did, because I bought more. And I'm just giving you a heads up right now. When Eric Hilliard of the DNR goes online live to announce the Pure Michigan Hunt winners, they give the first name and the initial of the last name. And I'm telling you right now, Mike A will be one of the three winners that they draw. Oh, Ross said then only one other, because Ross won too. And Brent, there we go. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's Pure Michigan Hunt winners are Ross Elliott, Brent James, and Mike Avery. Good morning, Doug. How are things on Instagram? Craig, I'm sorry you didn't win this year. You were late to the party. Craig didn't win this year. Bernie's being a smart guy this morning. He said, "Didn't we hear you say that last year?" Bernie, what I said last year was, I think I'm going to win the Pure Michigan Hunt. The difference this year is I'm telling you, I won it. I'm putting positive vibes out into the universe. Not, I think I can win. I think I did win, even though I don't think they've drawn. Maybe they have. I'm telling you right now, I did win one of the three slots of the Pure Michigan Hunt. They haven't drawn it yet, but I was one of the winners. And wouldn't we all be surprised if that did happen? And I can just hear the people now. Bird Poop Jesus. Love that name. How are things on Instagram? I if I did win after making this prediction, and because I do some work with the DNR, there would be a hue and cry, and I would be in trouble. Positivity is a good thing. I do dream, Brian. I'm a dreamer. 9, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, my friends, I'm going to start the radio show. You'll hear me talk about many of the same topics that we've discussed here, but I won't be able to interact with you. So I'll see your questions, but I won't be able to respond. So don't get mad at me, because I got to turn my attention to something else. I will leave this live feed going and encourage you to join me tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. I'll be on all my social media platforms except for Instagram, because Instagram doesn't like to play well with the social media streaming platform that I use. I'd like to be live on Instagram every time. All right, Ross, go sell some vehicles. All right, my friends, have a great day. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. 32 stations across the great state of Michigan, AM stations, FM stations in the Lower Peninsula, in the Upper Peninsula, all across this great state of Michigan. I'm here for 3 hours every week talking about the great outdoors, the history and tradition of hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and wildlife issues and conservation issues and even some wild game cooking. This is something I've been doing for a long time. It's something I plan to continue to do for a long time, God willing. And I'm so glad to have you along with us in this first show that we're recording in the new year. Now, you may have heard a show last week that aired in the new year, but this is the first show that we are actually recording in the new year. So once again, happy new year to you. It is wintertime now, isn't it? After a pretty mild December for many of us, most of us. And I have to be careful when I talk about weather and conditions and such, because here in Michigan, what you're getting in the Keweenaw is a far cry from what they're getting in the southern part of the state. So I understand that. I get that. But for the most part, December was a fairly mild month for most of us. But this last week or so, wintertime has certainly come on. We've had some cold temps. We've had some snow making ice. People out on the ice now. Have fun. Be careful. It's interesting that some people have such a negative connotation about ice fishing. Oh, it's not safe. And you've got to make the distinction here. Are you on a small, shallow inland lake, or are you out on Saginaw Bay? Two completely different types of situations. Um, and I remember years ago that the Coast Guard used to say no ice is safe ice, which was ludicrous because I'll use Coast Guard Station Saginaw River as an example. And those guys didn't make that decision. That came down from above. But on the Saginaw River, for example, as the Coast Guard out of Cleveland or wherever was saying no ice is safe ice, the guys at Station Saginaw River were looking out their window and seeing hundreds, if not thousands, of ice fishermen on the ice in front of them. So fortunately, they reevaluated their ice safety position and came back with, well, yeah, it can be safe. Just be careful out there. And that's what I would say. Be careful when you're on the ice. Again, if you're on a small inland lake, it's a whole different situation than if you are on a river that has water flowing underneath you and current and bridges and abutments and such, or if you're on a big body of water like Green Bay or Saginaw Bay or Bay de Noc or someplace like that, where you can get a crack and the wind can blow it out. But have fun. Have fun. Just use some common sense. People say, well, are you going to be on the ice this winter, Mike? No, I'm not. And it's not because I'm afraid of the ice. It's, I just, and I used to ice fish a lot, but it's just not one of the things that I do these days. And I say this all the time. In Michigan, we are so lucky because we have so many great outdoor recreational opportunities that unless your full-time existence is to be outdoors, we don't have enough time to take advantage of everything. So we've kind of got to pick and choose what our passions, what our addictions, that's probably a better word, what our addictions are. And ice fishing just isn't one of mine. I know it's going to be very, very productive, very effective. I see these guys out there pulling monster walleye, monster lake trout through the ice, and I get it. But it's just not something that that I get involved in these days. Although, if I was going to be on the ice, the one thing I could see myself doing this winter would be spearing. I am fascinated by this wintertime tradition of pike spearing. You're sitting there looking over a hole, a big hole, like 2x3 or bigger, and you're watching Mother Nature in real time underneath your feet. And that, to me, sounds pretty cool. I haven't done that since I was a kid either, but if I was going to be on the ice, that would be the one thing that can get me out there. So what else? Have you noticed, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here a little bit, but have you noticed the days are getting longer? I know, Avery, it's only January. Why are you talking about that? Because I've noticed it. Back in December, where I live, I mean, it could be dark at 5:15, certainly by 5:30. These days, on some days, you can see some light in the sky at 5:45. So the days are getting longer. We got that going for us. This past week, I had kind of a cool experience. I was going through some video archives. And as you can imagine, after 4 decades in broadcasting, I have a pretty extensive library. And I've been pretty good about documenting and saving a lot of the content that I have produced over the years. And these days, those files are stored on hard drives, computer hard drives. And one of the things I want to do is start dipping back into this video archive, this library, and pulling out some of the old videos and posting them on my YouTube channel. For no other reason than, I don't know, just I think it would be cool. I mean, the video production stinks. The quality of the video stinks. My voice and delivery stink. But it's kind of cool to look back at the way we used to do things in the old days. So I pulled out one of these hard drives. I plugged it into my laptop, which is an unbelievable concept compared to the way we used to do things when I started, but that's a different story. And I'm going through some of these files, and I'm trying to pick out, okay, what am I going to pull out of the archive and post on YouTube? And I found one that, again, I knew in my mind that I had done this, but I didn't know I still had the video file for it. And it was an interview, another interview with Mitch Rompola. You know Mitch, the guy who shot what would have been a world record whitetail in northern Michigan had he gone through with getting it documented and certified and verified. Before Mitch ever shot that big buck, I had been to his house. That video I had found years ago and posted, but this was a short interview I did with him for the local news station I was working at, using a franchise I had at the time called News 5 Outdoors. And Mitch is there holding his, at the time, was a Michigan State bow hunting record, just talking about deer hunting. And so I posted that. Because anytime you can get video of Mitch Rompola, or anytime you have video of Mitch Rompola talking about deer hunting, I want to share it with the world because there's not a lot of that out there, right? So that got a lot of response. If you're interested in that concept, I would encourage you to go to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. Both are Mike Avery Outdoors, and you can find that video there. When I was talking about the fact that I've done a pretty good job of documenting and recording and saving some of my content, the one thing that I did not save that really makes me so sad is after Mitch shot that, what I think is a world record whitetail, and I'll tell you that right now, I believe him. I had him on the radio show just days after shooting this thing. He was on my local radio show talking about how he had scouted that buck, walking us through the actual shot and the recovery. And it was very, very cool. And at the time, we weren't routinely recording our shows like we are these days. But I didn't think it was a big deal because I thought, well, I know Mitch. I've talked to Mitch. This is a story that'll be around for a long time, and he will be available to talk in the future and follow up. Little did I know that whole thing was going to blow up and he was going to basically go underground and he was going to not be available to anybody. So I wish I had that audio. However, I don't know where this came from. I was poking around YouTube the other day and somebody has a segment of my radio interview with Mitch. I don't know where it came from, but it's posted over some video. Now, they didn't ask me for that. They don't have my permission to run it. They basically stole that audio, and I told them as such in the comments. Didn't seem to bother them. But if you're interested in that, check it out. I think it's very, very, very cool. So what else is going on right now? Predator hunting, right? As the deer hunters are out of the woods, at least in the northern part of our state, predator hunters are getting back out there. January is the time to apply for your spring turkey hunting application. Did you remember to put in for the Pure Michigan Hunt? As of the time we are recording this show right now, they have not drawn the winners of the Pure Michigan Hunt, but I will tell you right now that I won the Pure Michigan Hunt. I mean, I have no proof of that, but I'm projecting positivity out into the universe. I will be, when they draw the Pure Michigan Hunt winners, one of them will be Mike A. That'll be me. Now, having said that, if God smiles on me and I actually did win the Pure Michigan Hunt, this is going to look really bad. I know it because I have no inside information. Coming up after the break here in the Outdoor Magazine show, Randy Booty of Savage Dog Outdoors talking about predator hunting. Then Jason Graham of Linwood Beach Marina wrapping up the ice fishing season and wrapping up the open water season, looking forward to ice. And then in hour number 2, my fishing buddy Tony Sovie talks about going through the ice on Saginaw Bay, almost dying, and what that was like. That and more coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. Kevin, I see you've joined us over on Instagram. Good morning. How are you? And I don't know if you've seen this yet, Kevin. I found another interview that I did with Mitch, and I posted it on my Facebook, well, on Instagram too. It's a short interview I did with him when I was working in news. So check that out. If you're interested, check it out. All right, my friends, have a good day. If you can, please join me tonight, 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. I got to do the rest of the show, so I got to let you go. Kevin, appreciate that. All right, my friends. And by the way, if you're looking for the definitive Mitch Rompola story, check out Kevin Vistason's Deer Hunter podcast and his series on the Rompola buck. As good as it gets. All right, my friends, have a great day. Gotta let you go. See ya.